This business actually stops there where the red building is, and that is a separate business right there, which is empty. Now, the actual boundary lines from the assessor's maps notate that the actual boundary line is there, where the actual building ends, all the way inwards. So, what does that mean? Well, assessor's maps are the actual official county record maps, which show legally the boundaries of the property. So now I will show you the actual legal boundaries of this property, which show that these security guards had no right to, first of all, even talk to me where I was standing, because that location under the enclave there is actually part of a separate property which they don't control. It's a third party. It's a different APN number. So these security guards, first of all, have no training, first of all, on anything other than my subject matter. Yesterday I demonstrated segregation, separation, and very, very ill-intended, ill-tempered, and uneducated security guards who do not know the difference between law and intent. So when you have the right-of-way passage, what that means is a very big law. I can walk from here to there through this alleyway legally, as long as I don't have to buy a damn thing from this business, and they cannot 86 me from walking there at all. That is the law, because when they stole the land over here, part of them stealing the land agreement is they got to allow people through the land. And when you allow people through the land, that immediately makes it public presence. So it's a little lawyer speak, but technicalities are a bitch. But these security guards need to understand that they're not the fucking law enforcement. They're not law enforcement. And I'm still waiting for the police to arrive, because they were bitching that the police are coming. They talked to them police on the phone. I actually checked, I won't say how, but call log for their fucking phone just now using a Stingray device. They didn't call the police. Some fat Indian fuck with the other guy was walking by. They're the ones that bitched to them to get him off over there. So now I'm going to have to demonstrate publicly and peacefully again. But you know what? I'm going to double check with the police, because I'm going to call the police here and ask them in person, what are the requirements for right-of-way passage? What are the requirements for public demonstration in San Francisco? Do you need a permit to have a freedom of speech? And do you require any noise ordinances? There are none. This is a business zone. This is not a residential zone, so it requires no noise ordinances. So somebody having a public speech versus somebody skateboarding is no different. The only difference is he's in one corner, I was in another corner. They're in their separate corner doing their individual duties or activities that they enjoy. I was going to enjoy giving my public speech, but I'm not permitted to do so, which seems a little racist or derogatory on their part. So once again, public square, no, it's not a public park. If it's a private park, it needs to have the rules posted, first of all. End of story. You need to have rules posted on this sidewalk that state what are the entrance requirements and what are the behavior requirements. It's very important. You must wear this kind of clothes. You cannot state that you must be of this social status. You can't say that you must be this rich to get into this sidewalk, get into this property here, into a public sidewalk. That's what they did to me. They're segregating me based on my clothes, just based on my clothes, that they assume that I'm homeless. Well, my being homeless doesn't have anything to do with my rights, right? What they make in 1 year, I can make in 15 minutes. These security guards, all of them put together here, I make in 15 minutes what they make in 1 fucking year. So, what does that mean? They're piss poor, and they're going to stay poor because they're uneducated little twats that have an ego boost because the law enforcement permits them to do so. That's true. Because every single time you have homeless people being separated out, for what reason? Their ego. So, if you want to obey the law, let's obey the law. What I can do is file a complaint with the American Civil Liberties Union. I will do that first. But secondary, with the State Department of Justice, that this has become a regular problem with these uneducated security guards that are segregating people based on simple fact. Is activities on this area are not prohibited. If it is prohibited, it should be posted up. End of story, right? If this is a private park. If this is a public park, you are allowed to rally and assemble for your freedom of speech anywhere you want, anytime you want. So I'm standing on a public sidewalk. So technically, the law is, if you're on a public sidewalk and there is no ramp, ramp meaning this is not a ramp. This square piece of ledge is not a ramp. This does not block the sidewalk. That yellow area there, that yellow area right there is called a ramp. Right here. For educating people who don't know. This is called a ramp. A ramp onto a public sidewalk does not denote blocking entrance to a private entrance here. Their private entrance is that door over there. Their private entrance is that door over there. Standing here does not block their entrance for any reason whatsoever. It's not blocking a business entrance. And it's more than 10 feet away from their door. That is also the law that these guys don't understand. So now, once more. Oh, and you cannot be on top of utilities. But the one thing about utilities is these. I was told the other day, no, this is a private sidewalk. No, motherfuckers. Pardon my foul language. Just because you lack education as a security guard, the little twats that came in need to be educated. Utilities are not your private domain. These are called utilities. PG&E is a utility. Anywhere there's utilities on the sidewalk, it's called a public sidewalk. You're allowed to rally and assemble on public sidewalks. It's not private. Private, maybe at that line. But you can't make it private because this land is called right-of-way passage, which you have not posted here, but it's posted on the other side, as required by law. What right-of-way passage means is anybody who needs to go to the other side of the street, they can do so because they blocked off the alleys by consuming the land. They stole the sidewalk, so they have to allow you to go around it legally. If they allow you to do that legally, the right-of-way passage is public domain. Public domain means while you're on public domain, you can have the same rights as you do on a sidewalk legally here, over there too. If you don't, then there's a problem with it. Then they need to learn the law. So let me see if the San Francisco Police Department knows the law as well about this. And I will verify it right now with the ACLU as well.